mission to renovate and rejuvenate our little piece of earth. Being a suburban gardener, we have neighbors that are relatively close by, and it never fails that whenever I want to do any sort of video, there's always something. And today that something is tree trimming there's a grove of ash trees that are just dead. So the ash borer came through our area a couple years ago and just decimated all of the ash trees. So we have had them all except for one removed from our property, and it now seems that the neighbors are also having them removed, and today is that day. So I apologize if you can hear that. It's just a chainsaw. So let's get these potatoes in their pot, shall we? So we had success last year with growing potatoes in pots, so we're going to do that again this year. And we use these, I believe they are 7 gallons. It doesn't say how big they are, but I believe they're 7-gallon buckets that we purchased from, I have seen them at Home Depot, I've seen them at Lowe's. So I think I got these, probably I got some at both stores. So, that was fun. We are having an extremely windy day here as well. So again, if you can hear the wind, I'm sorry. I put the camera in a bucket and to keep it from falling over, and it still fell over. So what I'm doing now is I've lowered the camera, so hopefully a little closer to the earth won't blow over. All right, where were we? Talking about potatoes. So a couple days ago, I took our potato seeds that I bought and I did what is called chitting them. So chitting them is taking the whole potato and cutting them into segments and letting them dry. So now there's, the reason why you want to let it dry is because you want a skin to form so that they don't rot once you put them into the dirt. So when you do that, you want at least 1 to 2 inches of potato with at least 1 or 2 eyes. Now this was really easy for me because our potatoes had already sprouted in the bag, but they came out completely white, and these have been exposed to sunlight for a couple days, so they're now starting to turn green. So we have an entire tray of potato chits. No, not chips, chits. So you can see these are all about 2 inches with an eye. They're already sprouting. So some of these, this one was really, really soft, and it only had a little one. And since I've let them in the air to dry, they have since started growing mold. I don't know if you can see that. So some of these we're not going to use because we don't want to put mold into the ground. So that one is a no. This one is a no. So they can appear to be white, like this is white, but it's actually just the potato starch. This actually is not mold. However, this one is mold. So we're not going to use that one either. But I think, yeah, that one's moldy too. But I think all the rest of them are good to go. For the soil, we're going to use some compost. And of course these are upside down. As well as just a potting mix for containers, because technically these are containers. We're going to mix that up in our wheelbarrow and then fill our pots. So I just got brand new gloves that I am about to make very dirty. So I put 1 bag of the soil and a half a bag of the compost. We're just mixing this all around, breaking up the clumps. Potatoes like to grow in a soft soil so that they have room to grow their tubers. And this is already pretty moist from the bags, so I'm not going to add any water at this time. So we're going to fill up each of these buckets to a little under halfway each. Then we're going to plant our potatoes. So it's to about here. So potatoes love phosphorus. So we're going to put some of this bone meal into each of the holes that we create for the actual chit. So I have just enough to put 3 in each container. And I think last year I put 5, and the potatoes, they were okay. They weren't as big as I had hoped, and I didn't get as many as I had hoped, but we're going to give them a little more room and only do 3 this year. So you learn something new every day. I didn't realize there was a knob at the bottom that will extend out the feet on my camera. So I've extended it out as far as it'll go. So hopefully that wider area of space will make the camera be more steady. I should have known that. Whoop. Okay. All right. So we have our soil in here. Actually, we have too much. So potatoes love bone meal. This is high in phosphorus. The 25 is for phosphorus. So this will help grow the tubers. Nitrogen grows greens, and phosphorus helps grow tubers such as carrots, radishes, potatoes, and the like. So we're going to use bone meal in each of the 3 holes that we're going to put in here, because I have just enough for 3 for each bucket, which is less than last year, but maybe this will give it a little more room in the bucket to create more potatoes. So here's hoping. I'm actually just going to put a bunch on the surface here. Whew. You don't want to breathe that in. Whew. Now we're just going to lay our chits with the, if there's already a little stem growing, you want this to go up. And then if it's just a little eye, again, you want that to go up. All right, now we will cover these with more dirt. So I'm not going to worry about filling these right now, because I want the stems to grow up, get some greenery on them a little bit, and then I'm going to it's called hilling your potatoes. I'm just going to put more dirt on top of that so that they continue to grow up through the dirt. So for right now, I'm only filling it to a little less than halfway. And if the stems stick out that are already growing, that's perfectly fine. Alright, that's one done. And here we have the finished pots. 2 of them are in the shade right now just because of the time of day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pots. That is potentially a lot of potatoes, which is fine with me because I canned potatoes for the first time this year and they were superb. So excited for the beginning of this process. Right now, these pots are at an angle in the yard. Next week, actually not next week, but the week after, we are getting a big load of dirt delivered for a new raised bed garden that we're putting in. And I'm going to take some of that dirt and I'm just going to try to make these be a little more level. I don't think they're going to fall over, at least not now, because there's no, once the greenery starts growing and it gets tall, it could get heavy and blow over. But for now, they should be okay for another week or two. So I am going to get some water on these, and then we are done planting our potatoes. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and also don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more, where we will track the growth of our potatoes for this season. And as always, Suki Suki, love the earth, love yourself, love each other. Till next time.